and I'm parked down this dead-end street, which won't be a dead-end street for much longer because there's lots of building work going on behind me. But it's nice and quiet, and there's not too many sandflies and mozzies and that kind of thing. Anyway, let me get set up, and we'll see who we've got in Frankton with me. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Where's the chat? Oh, so many adverts these days. We have Simon Roll. Good morning, Simon. Hope you're enjoying Queenstown. Morning, Andy and crew. Welcome, sir. For Giants, good evening, Andy and crew. How is everyone doing? I see your ponytail is back. It sure is. Yes, just winding you up. Can't be getting rid of that. No chance. Roger Heaps. Morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Roger. Apologies. I missed you when I was down in Queenstown. I am supposedly coming back in February for the Berkman Road. I'll be down for about a week. That's the plan. We've got all sorts of things planned down there, so we'll wait and see. But I'll be riding down on that one, so it'll be quite a loaded bike, I think, with all my gear. Jim K. Hello. Good morning, Jim, and welcome to Frankton. About 10 kilometres. What would it be? I don't know. Outside Queenstown. I get my norths and souths mixed up. Trying to visualize. I think it would be it would be east of Queenstown, I think, ish. It's not. It's where the airport's based, so you might see the odd plane or hear the odd plane taking off. But it's nice and quiet in this little corner. I was wondering where to park up, where would have a good signal, but luckily I think we're okay. Let me know what the audio and the visual is like, because I'm not too sure on the internet. We're on 5G, and I don't normally use 5G, so we'll see. Tom Cook, good morning, Tom. Hello from Washington State, the US of A. Good morning, Tom, and welcome to a little village called, wait, it's not little anymore, Frankton. I'll give you a little look around, actually. I'm going to turn you around, bring you over here. Terrible camera work. There we go. Turn you around. So the hotel that I'm staying in, if you look over there, is the second one in, the big brown one. Wyndham something or other, I think it is. Wyndham Gardens or something, I don't know. And then if we come around here, yes, there's a tree in the way, sorry. And this mountain range here is called the Remarkables. And you can see just at the top up there, look, there's a little bit of snow left. And they've had a lot of snow recently. It's all sort of cleared off in the last couple of weeks. And down here is more stuff to be built. I've no idea what they're building here. Probably another hotel. Loads of hotels going up. But this is classic for Queenstown. There's massive construction going on at the moment. Lots of car parks. They level the site, use it as a temporary car park, make some money out of that, and then build something on it once they sell the land to somebody else. I think that's how it works. Right, turn you around. Boom. Okay. Now, I did get a pie this morning, and I'm going to go and grab it right now, so I'll let you admire the view for a second, and because it's going to go cold, because it's actually quite chilly down here. Bear with me a second. I just spotted another sandfly, and one's already bitten me, little bastards there. Now, this is a pie, it's a steak and ale pie, and it's from Frank's Cafe, which is at the base of the hotel. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. We're not going to rate it because I can't be bothered at the moment, but I'll let you know what I think about it at the end of it. And, you know, it's only available from them, so it's not going to get a great score because, you know, it's the availability is not fantastic. Jim K, sounds good. FAB. I like it. Thanks, Jim. Wade Mayer. Howdy, Andy and crew. Good morning, Wade, and welcome to Frankton. Sergeant Joe Smith. Wow, that is an old name. Not had you on the channel for a while, Mr. Smith. Pretty view of the mountains. It's very, very scenic down here. It really is. It's a wonderful day. I wasn't too sure what the weather was going to be like. Eloise, my youngest daughter's planned some kind of adventure for me today, and I know she let a bit of it slip at the pub last night that there's a walk involved. Yes, no engines, just manual labour. I'm not really a fan of walking. Her original plan was about an hour and a half trek up a mountain, and then she decided that probably wasn't the best idea, so it's about a 25-minute meander around a lake, which is fine. Anyway, we're going in because it's getting cold. Wow. That is a ton of pastry. Look how thick that pastry is. I think that entire mouthful was just pastry. The real Daz 03. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, chaps. Oh, hang on. Another flyy thing. The real Daz says, hang on, Sergeant Joe Smith. Hey, bud. Yeah, sorry, I keep missing your streams at work. They've just ended by the time I see them. Surprised you remember me. I've got a pretty good memory. It's sort of selective, but it's pretty good. So cheers for that, mate. Steve Slater. Eat the pie, Andy. Yes, I'm going in again. Pastry, here we come. It is pretty cold, to be fair. I only bought it about 20 minutes ago. Would it be 25 minutes ago? So it has cooled down pretty quick. Simon. Lake, boat, and no walking. A boat sounds great. I don't mind boats, as long as they stay afloat. And don't get crashed into mountains like the local ferry. The one at Picton, that wasn't good. You might have seen that on the news. I'm pretty sure it went international. I mean, how do you drive a ferry into a mountain? I mean, it's ridiculous. Jeffrey Boyle pie. It's not bad, but there's way too much. I mean, look at that. That's like thumb thickness, is that? You know, to give you a scale. That's a shit ton of pastry. I'd be embarrassed if I made a pie like that if I was classed as a professional. But it's quite tasty once you get to the contents. The real Daz, where's the pie from? Little bakery cafe place at the base of the hotel that I'm staying at called Frank's Cafe. And they only opened at 8 o'clock. So I had to find somewhere pretty close to park up and do the live stream. There was no time to drive into Queenstown. And to be fair, there's bugger all places to park in Queenstown and it's really, really busy. And that's not a good thing for a live stream. And it turns out the internet's pretty damn good here. So I think I chose a good location, actually. It's just you, me, and the mountains, really. Sergeant Joe Smith again. I have a selective memory too. Mostly remember the hot tool girls in the PVC boots. Don't we all? Honestly, I know it's an end of an era, but we can still reminisce, right? That was so much fun. And all the gear is still in the cabinet in the workshop. Mrs. Mechanic won't allow it in the house, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, not to worry. Nice. Jeffrey Boyle, Murphy's Law. Wade Mayer. I swear, officer, that mountain came out of nowhere. Yeah. It turns out it was, so I remember rightly, it was on autopilot, and something went wrong with the autopilot and it started to aim towards this mountain. And the guy in charge, the captain of the ship, or whatever you want to call it, I'm sure Connor will put me right, they didn't know how to turn off the autopilot. I mean, what the hell? What an excuse that is. Blame the boat, why don't you? I don't think the final results of the investigation are out yet. It'll take years and then they'll just bury it, I'm sure. But it was stuck for a good 2 days, I think it was. They got the passengers off after like 24 hours and then it was another day, maybe a day and a half before they got it floated again. And there was minor damage, so they can't have been going too quick. The real Daz, have you tried the Furburger pies? They're pretty good. I think I had it was either a Furburger pie or it probably was a Furburger burger, actually. It was a long time ago. I was doing an event, or helping to do an event down here in Queenstown for work. I think we all decided to go and join the massive queue and get Furburgers. It was all right, but it wasn't worth the time in the queue. And the queues get massive. They really do. So there was, would I bother? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not that patient. I'd have to go maybe first thing in the morning when they just open. Wow. That was the pastry. It's just monstrous. I mean, don't get me wrong, the pastry, it tastes all right. It's not badly cooked, it's not undercooked, but there's a lot of it. Now then, I've got sunshine coming in, bear with me. Simon, one of the dredgers my dad worked on crashed into the Thomas barrier. Lucky he's not the skipper. It is. The heads tend to roll when that kind of shit goes down. The real Daz, the baker is next door. Maybe not quite so busy. I know they've got another one next door. I think that there's ice creams or gelato, they call it. Posh name for ice cream. Mike Adams, hi you all. I'm taking a short break. Nice landscape, Andy, behind you. It is. It's a wonderful view. And Eloise lives, the main road to Invercargill runs basically down the side of the Remarkables, which is this mountain range here. And she lives, probably about 10 minutes down there. So it's pretty handy for later on. I've got to go and pick her up, and then she's got a secret itinerary, which we've got to fulfill. And then we're going out for tea tonight, proper meal tonight. And then tomorrow morning, here's my itinerary for next week. Tomorrow morning, I've got to go to Cromwell in the morning, and then to Wanaka in the afternoon. It's about an hour's drive between Queenstown and Cromwell, and about an hour from Cromwell to Wanaka, and then about another hour back to Queenstown. So about 3 hours of driving and 2 visits. It's a pretty busy day, to be honest, tomorrow. Tuesday morning, I leave Queenstown, and I've got to go south again. I've got to go back to Gore, because I was supposed to go on to farm on Thursday afternoon, it would have been, but the weather was horrific. It was blowing a gale. This farm's up on a mountainside, very, very hilly where it was located, about 15 k's outside Gore, and it was raining hard, and the rain was horizontal. So I went up to meet the farmer, had a quick chat with him, and we both agreed that it would be a very good idea not to do it that day, because I was there to listen to a weird noise out of the gearbox, and I wouldn't have heard anything, you know, because even with a helmet on, it's hard to hear stuff, and you've got to wear a helmet, right? You know, you can't ride around, not in my position, you can't ride around without a helmet on. Now, if something happened, I'll just lose my job straight away. Now then, Pete, hi Andy and crew. Great looking pie. It's not bad, to be honest. There's just a lot of pastry. The contents are actually quite nice, and there's a lot of meat in it. Look at that. It's great. But it is cold, just to let you know. It also takes a bit of chewing. Jeffrey Boyle. Like in the USA, the container ship, Dally, took out a bridge in Delaware, USA. Was that the one on the news? The old bridge? Yeah, there was something to do with I think it was the power on that one, because when they played the footage back, because there was a few cameras caught it, and the lights flickered while it was away from the bridge, not too far away, and then the emergency generator kicked in, and the lights all came back on the ship, and then I think just before it hit the bridge, the lights had gone out again, so they lost all power. That's what the news told us anyway. I don't know what the real reason was. Jim Haynes, good morning, Jim. Welcome to Frankton near Queenstown. I must ask, what is all the basics for the odd named cities there? I don't know. I mean, a lot of the cities are English names now, like Christchurch and Queenstown and Cromwell and Wanaka, although maybe Wanaka isn't, I don't know. But there's also some weird names as well, which maybe were named before we came to the country. I'm going to say that very politically correctly. Before Mr. Cook landed. I don't know. I don't really know the history too much. I mean, some of the complicated ones, I'd much rather call them like John, you know, just give it a nice classic English name. I'm off to see John today, and that would be, you know, for example, Whangarei, which is spelt with a W and pronounced F. I used to call it Whangarei just to wind people up. Where do we get to? Mr. Smith, All those carbs and sugar in that pastry, guaranteed to give you diabetes, lol. Thanks. I can't eat that stuff no more. It probably won't be long for me to stop eating this stuff as well, to be fair. Simon. Jim Haynes. I wonder if Auckland, New Zealand, is named after the Bishop Auckland in the UK. Huh. I don't know. Although they're trying to bring back the Maori name for Auckland. And on the national news now, whenever they report from Auckland, they always say Aotearoa, I think it's called. I should know really, shouldn't I? I've been here for 15 years. Aotearoa. But it's like, no, it's called Auckland. You know, and same with New Zealand. It's New Zealand. That's the name of it. And they tried to change the name a while back, and they tried to change the flag, didn't they, as well? And it's like, no, leave things alone. Jeffrey Boyle. Yeah, that's the one. The ship that crashed into the bridge. Jim Haynes. It was in Baltimore, Maryland, about 50 miles north of me. Just down the road. Jim Haynes. I got the English names. The other ones. Yeah. There's some weird ones about. Especially villages as well. In the North Island especially. There's some weird names for places. Places that I just can't pronounce. Got no idea. Pete. Has the woke backed off yet? I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. Isn't it a strange world that we live in now? It's changed so much since I started making videos on YouTube. Be about 8 years now, I would say. Maybe 9. It's been a long time. Good news is we hit 95,000 subscribers the other day. Very impressed. So thank you very much, everybody. Really, really appreciate that. Only just under 5,000 to go now, and I get my plaque. I'm so looking forward to that. I have been making lots more videos, but ones that unfortunately you won't see them until I retire. But they're all banked in there. There's probably about 135 videos now that are all hidden, which somebody said to me, maybe you should just release them all at once, you know, the day after you retire, Andy, or that you finish employment of where you are. And it's like, bomb the internet with all my new videos. Maybe that could be a good ploy. But no, I'm looking forward to retirement. I mean, it's a few years away yet. And Mrs. Mechanic says about 8 years. So when I'm 60, I'm 52 now. She says, oh, you can retire when you're 60. Which I thought, it's not bad. It's not a bad deal. I mean, she could make me work to 65 or even 70, you know. I can't be doing that. I need to have my own time, you know. Jeffrey Boyle. Jim, that's the one. Pete, hey guy, hit the like please. Yes, good idea. Hit the like if you like. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. I mean, it's the algorithm just accepts the fact that you've done something, I think. Mr. Smith, congratulations on 95 subs. Hope you get to 100,000 soon. I just passed 1,000 subs this summer. It's hard work. It really is, and it's a good subject to talk about, actually. For quite a few years, I was getting around about 1,000 subs a month, which was absolutely brilliant. It was really cool. And YouTube, the number of channels has grown tremendously, and there's a lot of channels on YouTube which have got big budgets, and they're really well produced, and they're actually really good, entertaining videos. So the competition now is much higher. It's becoming almost commercialized. I mean, there's a lot more adverts on the videos as well. When I upload a video, YouTube automatically puts the adverts on. I have to go in and probably take out about 2/3 of them manually because there's just so many adverts. It would almost make the video unwatchable. It's just too much. It really is. I mean, I only want to make a little bit out of it. It's nice to cover your costs and have a bit of spending money and put it towards tools and stuff for the workshop. But it's so commercialized now, and I've noticed my subs in the last sort of 4 months And of course, it's got a bit to do with the fact I've not put that many videos up, which is just the way it is. I've been really busy. So I understand why it's happened to some extent. But subs now are down to about 300 a month. So there's a significant drop in the subs. Watch times progressively drop down. Again, I put that down to the fact that there's not that many videos going up at the moment. But saying that, the upside is I do get a lot of comments on the older videos, you know, thanking me for doing the video because it's helped them fix their fault, which was really cool. I met a lad yesterday, actually. I was working at a off-road centre here in Queenstown, and I was fitting some equipment to the vehicle to help them understand what was going on. And Ollie was his name. So I wandered up, you know, got out my ute, wandered up to him to say good morning because he was the only one on site. And he sort of looks at me a bit weird. He goes, I know you from somewhere. I says, oh, yeah? Oh, wonder where that could be. And he went, do you do YouTube videos? I'm sure I've been watching you on YouTube fixing Ben's ute because I've got the same ute. And the videos have been really helpful. And I was like, cool, mate. It's nice to see, nice to meet a viewer. Thank you for the feedback. And he was sort of, I wouldn't say it was starstruck, but it was quite weird watching his face and the expressions on his face while he was trying to work out where I was from and how he knew me. Always funny. Now then, where do we get to? Who would thumbs down, Andy? I don't know. I don't count them, to be honest. It doesn't bother me. Wait, oh, I've got to go roll back. Hang on a minute. Oh, Mike Adams. I've seen a scary sight yesterday. A guy riding a Suzuki 750 street bike on 2 bald tyres. I got away from him as quick as possible. They just don't care, do they, some people? They just ride around in sandals or flip-flops and shorts and T-shirts on high-performance bikes. I was driving from Queenstown back to the hotel yesterday, and there's quite often the Frankton road, which joins the two places, is very, very busy with tourists. And there was a big van pulling out from a side road on the left, and he obviously, you know, the queue opened up and allowed him to come out. And just as he pulled out, there was a little scooter flicked down the right hand side of me. Now we drive on the left here, so he came down the outside of the queue, which of course scooters do, and the van pulled out. And this scooter, he only just got that little, I mean, he wasn't going fast, to be fair, but he only just got pulled up before, otherwise it'd have hit the van side on. And the driver of the van had no idea who was there. He just didn't look for motorcyclists coming down the outside of the queue. It was a close call. It was all caught on dash cam. I'm not sure if it's still on the memory card now, but look, if there'd been an accident, obviously that dash cam would have been really, really helpful. But you know, and proved it was the van's fault for not, you know, due care and attention and stuff, I suppose. But the scooter wasn't going fast. He wasn't giving it all. You know, he was just filtering down the outside. So I don't think he would be classed to be in the wrong. You're allowed to filter through on motorcycles and scooters here in New Zealand. This is really cold now. Jeffrey Boyle, Andy, it's your charming personality. It's magnetic. Cheers, mate. Where do we get to? I've lost my place. Sergeant Joe Smith. Who would... Oh, I've done that one. Sorry, Mr. Smith. Jim Haynes. The work stuff here is in the retreat since our recent election, which is good. It was just getting a bit overpowering. I mean, everybody's different, right? And we've all got our own place in the world. And I don't ridicule or worry about all that kind of stuff. We just are who we are. But there's no need to force it down each other's throats all the time. And social media was just going ballistic with that work stuff. And it's like, come on, you know, let's just all be what we do. Let's not fight it. And if anything, the more it's flicked out on social media, the more it's sort of just like with any kind of marketing, I suppose, and knowledge and news, it maybe sways things a little bit. I don't know. It's a bit like, you know, when there's a little glitch in the economy and all the news teams and the media jump on it. Ooh, you know, it's going to be another recession. It's all really bad news. Ooh, we better stop spending money. you know, and then that's what happens because everybody watches the news and they go, "Ooh, there's a big crash coming in the economy. We better not spend any money." And then all of a sudden that makes the recession. It makes it 10 times worse. We've seen it happen so many times. The Real Daz, you definitely need to do a special live stream when you get to 100,000 subscribers, and when you receive the silver plaque. Most definitely, it's something which I've been looking forward to. Really, you know, as soon as I hit the first 1,000 subs, I thought, I wonder if, you know, I wonder if we're ever going to get to that point. And I've been plugging away, working hard, trying to get the videos out. You know, even when I'm busy. You know, when I'm away like this, I've been editing up a whole suite of videos for the future, and I hope, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know whether I'll still be around then, but they're videos that hopefully you'll all still enjoy to watch. It's quite humbling actually, but it's something which, you know, certain jobs come along, and it's good to capture them on video there and then, because it's a one-off opportunity to make a video on that particular subject. So it'd be silly not to do, really. But it does add a lot more time to doing the job, obviously. And then there's all the editing. I mean, I was up till I was editing one video, and it was about, they're actually quite long. Some of them are really long. Some are like 2 hours long, which, you know, feature film. And to edit a 2-hour video is it's between 5 and 6 hours work. It really is. There's a lot of effort goes into it. And I used to use dual cameras to get different angles and stuff. But the time for editing just was exponential because of it. It was so much. I found it really hard to sync the videos together, you know, and to work my way through the editing process. So I quickly went back to just a single camera, and it works fine. And don't forget, all my videos are filmed on a phone. I don't need posh equipment to get reasonably quality videos. Phones are great these days. Jim Haynes. You want over 100,000, bring back Hannah, game over. I know. It would be about time that Hannah got a new shirt, wouldn't it? And that would do it. I mean, when that video went out, we got 10,000 subscribers in 1 month. Probably for all the wrong reasons. And that's maybe the price that I'm paying now that we don't have Tool Girls on the show. Maybe one day it'll happen again. I don't know. But at the moment, just for now, happy wife, happy life, right? And there's plenty of videos to go back and watch again. You can't remember all of them. And the girls were great. They put up with so much, you know. It was absolutely awesome to have them in the workshop. And the weird thing was, you know, I was so focused on making the video and getting all the camera angles right. And it wasn't scripted. It was, you know, real-time stuff. But I'm still producing the video in my head and working out what needs to be done for the filming side of it. Well, you know, I couldn't fully enjoy the videos, unfortunately. It was great fun, but I was there working. That's what I was doing. I was doing a job, really, because there's a lot to think about when you're making videos. And it was expensive to have the girls in the workshop. You know, they got paid for it, which was nice. It was good that they went back with something. They got something out of it. And the planning in advance was much greater when you've got tool girls or assistants helping you in the workshop. Mike Adams. Oh my word, something's going on. Andy goes out and about and gets thumbs up. I go out just to get fingers up. Okay. The pie is done. I imagine if it was warm or hot, it would have been quite a nice pie, actually. Despite the huge amounts of pastry. But the contents sort of made up for it. It was tasty. The contents were really tasty. It was good quality meat. But that pie's only available at Frank's Cafe in Frankton. And, you know, Queenstown's quite a long trek from most places. So they're not going to sell that many of them, to be fair. But the good news was that they opened at 8 o'clock and they were already hot in the pie warmer. And that's good. And the place, I was watching them last couple of days in the morning, so I've been leaving reasonably early. And the kitchen side of the cafe is open from like about 6 a.m. And they do a lot of baking. And there were people arriving in cars and taking away, you know, crates of things that they've cooked. So they obviously have a few contracts to supply other people locally. But I don't think they supply other people the pies. I don't know. I didn't really see what was in the trays. Maybe they do. Maybe the pies are available elsewhere, but I have no idea. But they're obviously making money from not just what they sell in the cafe. They've got other lines, acting a bit like a wholesaler as well. And the coffee's cold. Yes. Where do we get to? Jim Haynes. Does this mean that you're now going to charge for autographs? I do joke now and again, actually, because I have to sign a lot of stuff. Every hotel you go into, you've got to sign a sheet when you check in and things. And I do jest every now and again. I normally charge for this, just to get them to laugh a little bit. And then it gets them thinking, well, who is this guy? Yeah? Check out YouTube, you'll soon find me. Where do we get to? Simon, when you release them, most of it will be common knowledge by then. Had fun with a dealership Master Tech last week. His face has face IVVT issue on a 24 reg car with quite a new vehicle. How the hell do you know that, lol? Because we work shit out, right? That's what we do. Mike, I see it this way. Yeah, it might be illegal. It might be legal to lane split or split lanes on a bike in places, but is it really worth the risk for all involved? I remember when I was living in Auckland or commuting through Auckland every day, and the main roads, the main highways that go past through and go out west and stuff, they're all 3-lane motorways. And they're usually heavily congested during commuter time. So on a motorcycle, you just have to lane split. There's just no point otherwise. It's painful stop starting on a bike all the time. And you are, as regards your senses as a rider, you have to be absolutely 100% tuned in to not only looking for people indicating, because most of them don't indicate when they lane change, and there's a lot of lane changes, or lane hoppers we call them in New Zealand. So you're looking for them to, usually the car will twitch a little bit, where they're thinking about changing lanes and looking across to see if there's a gap. And the last thing all they do is they're focused on the car in the lane that's adjacent to them. They're focused on that car, waiting for the gap so they can launch themselves into it. They very rarely will look in their mirror to look down the line to see if a bike's coming. And the bikes come up pretty quick. I mean, not that they're riding fast, but most of the traffic's going very, very, very slow, like 5, maybe 10 k's an hour. It's just very slow, just stop start all the time. So the bikes are maybe doing 30 k's an hour. You don't need to go any faster than that when you lane split, 25, 30 k's an hour. But even then, because of the speed differential, they come up pretty quick. And it's very, very easy to miss them. And yes, we do blame the drivers because they haven't seen the bike, but it is actually very difficult to see them sometimes. And some of them ride a lot faster than others. I used to do, I think my rule was about 20 k's an hour faster than whatever the cars were doing. And once the cars got up to like 50 k's an hour, I would just drop back into line and happy days. But it is dangerous, and a lot of people, fall off, have accidents because of it. And I remember when I pretty much first come to New Zealand, it was one of my first rides into Auckland. There was a bike at the side of the road, there was an ambulance and a police car and stuff, and the rider had been killed, and there was a blanket over him, covering him up, and it was like, shit, is this what it's going to be like? It was a bit of a reality check for me, in all honesty. Jim Haynes, when it comes to Hannah, no wrong reason. Hannah was a handful, I'll tell you that. And I do actually have a lot, and not just Hannah, but all the tool girls. There's a lot of footage that ended up on the cutting floor, should I say. So maybe, when I get time, I'll dredge all that up and put some compilations together. That'll be fun. Pete, you're right, Andy. If she's not happy, you'll never be happy. That's right. Mrs. Mechanic's a lot happier now. I mean, it wasn't so bad when we were living up in Auckland, because the girls would come and go pretty quick. We'd just do a day's filming and then they'd go home. But being down where we are, which is a rural location, it's a much more of a palaver, you know. I usually would give them a ride down. I mean, Tool Girl Holly and Tool Girl Lily were the two tool girls at the time that we did this. I'd sort of finish work on a Friday afternoon, pick them up, and then they'd catch a lift down with me to the cottage, which is a good 3-hour drive, 3.5-hour drive. And then they'd have to stay somewhere local. They couldn't, obviously. Mrs. Mechanic didn't want them in the house, you know, which is only fair, you know. It's not ideal. So we put them up in a hotel, and then I'd go and pick them up on the Saturday morning. I'd set all the workshop up, go and pick them up, bring them down. And there was a few places they could stop. One was actually in the village, which was great. You know, they could even walk down from there. It was perfect. And then we could crack on with the filming. And we'd be filming pretty intense for the whole day until about maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean, sometimes I remember with Holly, we did a couple of builds. We did like a Lego build, a little rally car, little Audi rally car. And then we also did a Meccano build, and that filming ran right through to like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Very, very long days. I mean, you know, Holly worked very hard on those. And, you know, imagine wearing those boots for, you know, since about 8 o'clock in the morning until almost like, you know, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, all I can imagine is it can't be good for your feet. So she was absolutely outstanding, was Holly. Put a lot of effort into being a tool girl. It was great, and she really enjoyed it. Genuinely enjoyed being a tool girl for the channel. And I think partly because, you know, I was a lecturer at college as well, so she was giving back a little bit, which was nice. But it got very hard, and then of course when we finished, we'd film on the Saturday and the Sunday. And then on the Sunday, I'd normally go up to Auckland or wherever on the Monday morning as normal. But because, you know, they had to get back for work in the morning, I would then go back to Auckland on the Sunday night. So Mrs. Mechanic hardly saw me at all that weekend, even though I was at home, really just for Saturday night. And I was usually pretty knackered by then, pretty burnt out. So, you know, it was quite a negative thing for Mrs. Mechanic. She didn't blame the tool girls for it, not at all. It was just something that you know, what happens when I was doing what I was doing, and it wasn't really very fair on her, to be honest. And the logistics and the cost of it all was it was spiraling out of control. But it was fun. We really enjoyed doing it. But it's just, you know, with moving down there, I didn't realize just how much effect it would have. Now, where did we get to? Purple Monkey 1974. Started to watch the latest from One Little Lady this morning. Yes, Mrs. Mechanic. Good segue. Mrs. Mechanic has released episode 5. Now, it has taken a long time. I'm very pleased it's finally done and been aired. I did the thumbnail for her. She emailed me a photo to turn into a thumbnail for her earlier in the week. Stuck it back. We have a little shared Google Drive thing that I chuck things in. We share images that she wants me to work on. So I did that one night for her, flicked it back, and then she had everything she needed to launch the video. And I can tell you now, she's working on episode 6 right now. I'm really looking forward to when we get to the South Island, because the terrain that she starts to ride in the South Island and the problems that we have and how we overcome them, and the river crossings and the fall-offs and all that kind of stuff, it gets a lot more interesting in the South Island. And that's what she's eager to do. I think that's her driving force, to get the North Island out of the way so that then she can start editing up the South Island. And there'll be probably more episodes in the South Island than there was in the North Island, because there's a lot more really good footage. So she's sort of, her motivations come back now. We're not that far from the South Island. I would say there's probably, went through Taramanui on that one. There's probably maybe 2, possibly 3 more episodes of North Island, and then we'll be on the ferry. And that in itself was a palaver. So, you know, there was all sorts of things went wrong on that trip that we had to overcome and find a way around. And it was quite a mission. It was a real adventure. It was full on. And we really didn't plan very much ahead, apart from a rough idea of where we were going to go, basically. So if you've not seen any of the One Little Lady adventure ride, the charity ride on the monkey bike, then there is a link that I put on at the end of my videos. I don't think it comes on at the end of the live streams, but at the end of my videos, there's a link to her channel, and you can go and watch those if you like. They're pretty cool, and she has a very different way of editing that I do. It's much more entertaining. Where do we get to? Mike Adams, my luck. If I was to Lanesmith, I'd encounter that one guy that opened his door to spit tobacco juice, or the pregnant lady with the morning sickness that had to vomit. We were queuing, we were in the patrol. This is again years ago when we lived up at Silverdale. And we were all going to work. So we had Mrs. Mechanic, we had Ben in the car. I was driving. It's a car, 4-wheel drive. And the vehicle in front of us was a white van. And there was loads of bikes coming down, you know, and we were all going really slow. Stop, start, like before. And this cruiser, it wasn't a Harley, but it was a cruiser, just came past me. And just as he came past me, and he was going to go past the white van next, the guy in the white van, the vehicle was stopped. He opened his driver's door to get out. And it was perfect timing. As he opened the door, the bike, it hit the bikes down the side. The bike had crash bars on it, so it took the door, creased straight into one of the crash bars, and just flicked the guy clean off, and he slammed into the car in the next lane. So of course, you know, we all got out to help the guy up. I picked his bike up for him, and his bike didn't look too bad, to be fair. It was still rideable, and he sort of brushed himself down. Luckily, he wasn't seriously injured, but we pushed his bike to the side of the road, and I think he had a bit of a break and got himself back together, and then he buggered off down the hard shoulder. It happens all the time. And I said to the guy in the van, I said, why did you open your door? And he says, oh, I couldn't wind the window down. Or I wanted to adjust my mirror or something. And I'm like, but you're on a motorway. Why? It's just dumb. You didn't even look in your mirror. You just opened your door. But I wasn't going to have an argument with the guy. It wasn't my problem, but I was just astounded that anybody would even consider doing that. I mean, it wasn't an emergency situation. There was nothing wrong with him. His van wasn't on fire or anything like that. You know, it was just he just opened his door, and it's like, what the hell? But it was perfect timing. If it had been any sooner, the guy on the bike would have got stopped because he wasn't going fast. And if it had been any later, the guy would have gone past. It was just bizarre. Couldn't believe what I was watching, to be fair. Where do we get to? Mike Adams again. Yeah, I got it. I worked that one out. Lane, not lame. Sorry, bro. Butter thumbs today. Well, that and that predictive text thing doesn't help. Simon still didn't get the notification. One little lady just showed up on my feed. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, it's only a little tiny channel, so maybe the notifications don't kick in. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. But I'll say it now to all my viewers that watch the live streams at least. There is a new episode out. Get yourself over to One Little Lady. There's a link at the end of my normal videos. Click on that. That'll take you to her page, and then you'll just click on videos, and you'll see all the videos. She's done quite a few now, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more. She's got a lot of stuff, you know, filmed in the can, like daily life around the home. Building stuff, you know, we built a potting shed recently. She did a bit of filming on that, so there's all sorts of stuff that will come out at some point. And she really likes a potting shed, by the way. She really, really, really does. John Nuttall, have the powers that be chosen your new drive yet? I still don't know what I'm going to get. We've got a couple of older or similar age Ford Rangers with a 3.2, basically the same as this ute. And I've said to Al, I says, hey, look, just give me one of those. They've only got like 110,000 Ks, 120,000 Ks on them. We know that the vehicles are good for at least 150, 160, 170, sort of the preferred disposal point. This one's done almost 210 now, so it's getting up there. And this will be disposed of as soon as I get back, basically. I'm going up to Auckland on the week commencing the 16th of December, the Monday. It needs a bit of work doing to it. It needs a new windscreen, and it needs the brakes sorting out and bits and pieces. I mean, the brakes are fine, but they've not had that rebuild done since Queenstown about a year ago, where it burnt the dust seals. And I came down what I call the windings from Wanaka. I had a trailer on the trailer. The brakes weren't really holding it back very well. So anyway, the brakes overheated by the bottom of the hill. Bottom line, we got the discs and pads replaced, and the brakes were fine. They've been fine ever since. but the dust seals are all manky, so we're going to get the calipers rebuilt before we get rid of it, just to make sure it's 100% safe for somebody, because it's not something that most people would spot if they didn't know about it. So it could be a Ranger, hopefully. It might be an Isuzu, hopefully not. We'll wait and see. D-Max, think they are. Horrible things. I went out when I did one of my visits last week. The dealer, the owner of the business, had a load of bikes to deliver that evening. I says, "Oh, I'll come with you. We'll have a ride out." I didn't realise we weren't going to get back till like just before midnight, but anyway. And he was asking me, about my ute, just like you guys have, and what you're going to get next and stuff. I said, "Oh, it's possibly going to be a bloody Isuzu," and I really laid into this Isuzu. And then after I'd finished, I looked across and it had Isuzu printed across the steering wheel. That was exactly the ute that I was giving grief about. I said, "Sorry, mate, I didn't realise." And he felt terrible. He had one. Mike Adams, okay, the break is over for me. Got to get back to work. Have a good week, y'all. Cheers, Mike. Really appreciate you joining us down in Frankton, near Queenstown. And yes, get back to work, get some stuff done. And there will be another live stream next Sunday, and I'll be in Christchurch again. So I'll have to find another location there. Simon, not thinking of buying your work truck off them cheap. Watch this space. Tell them you want a Mog mobile workshop. Could you imagine if they bought me a Unimog? Oh, that would be fantastic. Although a massive problem trying to park at all the hotels I go to, and it would be quite expensive on the ferry because they're so high. But yeah, I could drive a Mog around New Zealand for the next few years. That would be fun. Be a lot slower though, but people will get out of your way, and I suppose you could pretty much park wherever you want because they can't tow it. But I'd also be quite inclined to go adventuring in it. With that kind of off-road ability, I think they would be like, "Andy's going to go exploring in this. We know he is." Why wouldn't you, to be honest? The Real Daz, Christchurch is my neck of the woods. Oh, well, I'll be there next weekend. I'll be arriving on Friday, I think it is. I get to Christchurch, maybe even Thursday night. Friday? I don't know. I forget my schedule. There's so much going on. It's going to be a really nice day today. The sun's out now. It's above the tree, so it's glaring on the laptop, so forgive me. The Real Daz. Yeah, sorry, done that one. Yes, so I'm away. So once I get to the end of next week, that's right, I leave Christchurch straight after the live stream. I leave Christchurch and I head north to Picton. Holy crap, you got to see this. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Off he goes. I think they'll be doing, they'll be flying up to Mountain Cook and doing an aerial pass of Mountain Cook, because Mountain Cook's that way. Or is it? No, I'm wrong. Oh no, he's turning now. I don't know where he's going. Maybe he's just taken off, so he's not. I don't know where he's going yet. Maybe it's just a Remarkables trip. Maybe they're just going to fly around the Remarkables and look at the mountains and the ski fields and stuff. Wow, look at that. I don't think you'll be able to see this on camera. I don't know. We'll see. But there he is. Look. Can you see him in front of the mountains? Good timing. I like that kind of stuff. Where do we get to? Mr. Smith. Hey Andy, my elder sister is 50 tomorrow. Her married name is Connie Ling. Can you give her a shout out and a happy birthday so I can send a link to this stream to her? Thanks. I'm 52 years old. I know what that name refers to. So, Connie, Miss or Ms. or Mrs. Lingus, happy birthday from Andy Mechanic. Will that work for you, Mr. Smith? Classic. You can't set me up that easily. I'm not that dumb. The real Daz, have you got a location in mind? I haven't. I've got no idea, actually, where I'm going to do my live stream from. We'll have to just wait and see. It'll depend a lot on the weather as well, I suppose. Because I hate live streams from inside my ute. That's just, it's boring, isn't it, to be fair? Simon, you won't even need a trailer, too. I know. Just chuck it in the back of the mog. It'd be great. Imagine the amount of stuff I can carry around with me. Brilliant. Connor K, good morning, Connor. Welcome to Frankton, near Queenstown. Hi, Andy. Sorry I'm late. Just finished some home plumbing repairs. I have clicked the like. Thank you, Connor. I do appreciate it. I've done a bit of plumbing in my time. I'm not very good at plumbing, to be honest. We had a plumber come down to change our hot water tank a few months ago, and I'd made some modifications and put a pump in there and stuff, and to try and up the pressure, the hot water pressure. And man, he said, who on earth's done this? This is terrible. You don't do it like that. And Mrs. McCann wasn't there. Mrs. Mechanic's like, my husband. Well, he should not be doing plumbing. He's not a plumber. She really laid into it. He really laid into it. It was classic. But anyway, he took it all out, and the lads did a great job. So thank you, Fox Plumbing and Electrical. They do all my electrical and plumbing work, but they're not cheap, and they do make their own mistakes, to be fair. They really do. Right, where do we get to? Mr. Smith, click the thumbs up, people. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I'm laughing. And so you should be. Fun and games, eh? Fun and games. But thanks for trying. What time are we on? I've no idea. It's 9:22, so we're going to call it quits at 9:30, I think. We'll just do an hour's live stream today because Andy's got an adventure day planned and doesn't want to be late because Eloise has got lots planned. Some good news, really good news actually. Remember these? Yes, you know exactly what these are. This one basically holds the primary sheave on a Yamaha Viking. Now I can say that because I'm not showing any Yamaha product, and this is not insider knowledge. This is something that I've designed. I own this design. It's not patented though. It also fits the Yamaha YFM 700 and the previous one, the 550 quad bike as well. Holds the same primary sheave, and it holds the sheave stationary so you can tighten up the nut to the correct torque. The original tool that was that's normally used, that's supplied by the manufacturer to do the same job, is a steel band clamp that you tighten up, and on those bigger sheaves, all of the ROVs and stuff, they'll have much larger CVT drives. The band clamp isn't enough. They often slip, and the mechanic will slip with his torque wrench and usually crack his knuckles against something, and what normally happens then is they just don't bother using it, and they'll just get an impact wrench and give it a few ugga-duggers on the nut and hope for the best. And in my book that doesn't work. The nut has a torque and it has to be torqued correctly. If it's not tight enough, then the inner part of the sheave on the splines, it's not tight and the splines wear away, and that inner sheave transmits half of the torque, and of course then you get belt slip and stuff. If you over tighten it, then you risk obviously damaging the threads and so on. So you know, it has to be done correctly, and very good take up. Basically all of the dealers, all of the bike shops that work on those particular vehicles have placed orders for those tools, which is absolutely great news. Solves a problem for them, peace of mind, and also it's sort of a bit of a pat on the back for me for coming up with the design. And it's something that I designed about 5 years ago that I've been using in my own workshop for the jobs that I do, and I found it super useful. So I thought maybe it's time now to let them have access to that new tool. And I've also done one for the 850cc ROV as well, and it works brilliantly. So they're in production as we speak, and they've also placed orders for those, and they'll get shipped out as soon as they're ready. Basically, as soon as I get back, we'll package them up and send them out. So a win, a huge win on that. There's no downside to it. Everybody wins, which is great. And I did them for $100 each, which I thought was a fair price. The dealers were very pleased with the price. It wasn't, what you would expect to be from a special tool from the manufacturer, they're normally quite a lot more money. So for the sake of $100, job done, peace of mind, techs are happy, and it makes the job a lot quicker as well, to be fair. But if you do it right, it makes it a lot quicker. Where are we here? Oh, John Nuttall. That chrome bearing caps you lost off the trailer is stuck on the back of your head, lol. Funny. Yes, I know. You all take the piss. It's just the way it is. Sergeant Smith, thanks, Andy. I miss hanging out on your live streams. You are so fun to hang out with and chat with. My pleasure, mate. I enjoy it just as much as you guys do. Jim Haynes. Speaking of woke, the news here has been saying that New Zealand new naval ship that sunk had a captain that was unqualified but picked to do being a woman that ticked boxes for work stuff. Really? I mean, I hadn't heard that they'd sunk one, but anyway, not ideal. And of course, they'll be delving into the reasons why it happened, to be sure, and maybe that'll come to light. I don't know. But, you know, qualifications are there for a reason. Training's there for a reason. You can't just put somebody in a role just because the world thinks you should, or some people in the world think that you should do that. Pete. Oh, hang on. Simon Roll. Shout out to a Mr. Mike Hunt. Yes, I know. And there's, if you go into the bar and you ask for a Dickens cider as well, if you say that quickly, you'll know where that comes from. That was a mate at work got me to do that one day, and I didn't twig. And the poor lass behind the bar, she didn't know what to say. Calling Dr. Dover or Ben Dover, that's the one. Ben Dover, yes. Honestly, where does this live stream go? It just goes down a rabbit hole, doesn't it? Jim Haynes, speaking of, I've done that one. Yeah, Sergeant Joe Smith. Even my uncle, Mike Oxford. Like, funny guy. Honestly, you're doing well. I'll give you that. You're doing well. Simon, the work meltdown in the UK went what? When Trump won PMS. What are you on about? The work meltdowns in the UK when Trump won PMS. Don't get that. Sorry, I know Trump's back in again. The Real Daz, did you design it in SketchUp? No, I didn't. I just took them a primary sheave and said I want a tour. Did them a quick fag packet drawing of what it should look like and how it was going to work. And the lad there, just within half an hour, he had the CAD drawing done, and he did me a test piece. The original one we just printed. This is about 5 years ago. The original one was a little bit too long. The ID was slightly too small, so I had to grind it out by about 1 mil. So when we got them produced, obviously we opened up the ID a little bit, and it just dropped straight on, and it works great. So, you know, I've got the CAD drawings. It may well be, I know Australia need a load of them. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing that yet, but I think I'll do a video on them at some point. Obviously I can't show the primary sheave in the video because that's a Yamaha product, but I'm pretty sure people will get the idea. And then I might set it up so that people can just buy the CAD drawing for say $10 or something, take it to the local engineers that's got you know, a plasma cutter or something, and then they can just get it made, and then just pay them. So they're not paying for the design of it, they just pay for the cutout, which is relatively cheap, to be honest, in comparison, because it will help people, which is what it's all about. Where do we get to? The screen's getting really hard to read now, sorry. Sandra Smith, very funny. Roger Heaps, they said. That Navy ship that run aground and burned was for mapping the bottom of the ocean. Well, come on. I mean, if you're there mapping stuff, you should be pretty good at navigating and know when the bottom of the ocean's getting a little bit, you know, a bit close. Was on autopilot. There's a report out now. Holy crap, another autopilot going on. Jim Haynes, $100 million is what they say here for their big boat. Jeez. Somebody's head will roll. Simon, PMST are pissing myself laughing. PMSL. Sorry, mate. It's the lights on the screen now. Mr. Smith, really love you, Andy. Cheers, mate. Purple Monkey 1964. See Trump not going to jail now. What a surprise. Not. Now, we all saw that coming, right? Connor K. About the New Zealand ship. Heard that the mate on watch tried to change the heading without deactivating autopilot. Oh, God, so he was fighting the autopilot. The ANSI pods, which change directional thrust, didn't change thrust direction. No, because the autopilot was overriding it, right? Real Daz, I do CAD detailing as a job. Well, that's interesting to know. But with kitchens, so would assume to produce a DXF file. Yeah, I think it is a DXF file. I've not got the files yet. I've asked now that we've got two that are finally designed and in production. I'll be obtaining those because, you know, at the end of the day, I own the files. I've paid for the design, right? So I'll get the files off them, and then I'll maybe put them in a Google Drive somewhere, and then do a video and put a link to the Google Drive, or maybe getting people to email me, make the payment, and then I'll release the access to the Google Drive to each one. There'll be one in each folder. That might be the easiest way of doing it. I really don't know yet. It's the most important thing to me is not making money out of them. It's to help people to do the job properly. End of the day, once I've got the file, it costs nothing, right? I might just make it public access. Roger. It was also a third time the same ship had been grounded, really. It begs belief, doesn't it? It really begs belief how bad some things can be. Anyway, crew, I think we're about there. We're at the end of the live stream. Coffee is still going and very cold. Thank you all very much for joining this morning. Apologies, it's only an hour live stream, but I think it's all we need today, really. Sun's getting really hot down here on the back of my legs. It's going to be quite a classic day. I've got to try and stay out of the sun. I've been in the sun a lot. When I was in Sydney, I was in the sun a lot, and all the skin on my arms is starting to flake off now. Great fun. Hang on, where do we get to? Simon, may I have to turn that PPL? Don't get hundreds made to sell. Yeah, I know it's a difficult one, and it's Simon, to be honest. But anyway, Purple Monkey sounds like a boat Uncle Albert would have used. Yes. John Nuttall, how is Steve at Simply Diag or the Guy Martin? Not seen here for a bit. Not sure about Guy Martin. He's always busy as Guy. If it is the real Guy, who knows? But Steve at Simply Diag, I did message him not too long ago. I think it was his birthday, and he said he's pretty much retired now. Just taking it easy. He's still doing a few courses and bits and pieces, but he's not really doing the Diag videos as we knew, which is a terrible shame. But you know, end of the day, it's his choice. He's put a lot into the industry. He was a great guy, fantastic knowledge base, and super helpful. Couldn't ask for any better, to be honest, and a good mate, in all honesty, a nice guy. Yeah, so if you're there, Steve, we wish you all well, we really do. Mr. Smith, thanks for this, Andy, lots of fun. No worries, matey, all good. Pete, thanks, Andy, have a great rest of the weekend. I will do my very best, believe me. There'll be a cider later on. Sergeant Dale Smith, hit the thumbs up, everybody, please. Yes, hit the thumbs up. Thank you again. I will see you next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. somewhere in Christchurch. Cheers for now. Over and out.